Here's what's happening now. It is frigid out there, and even though the winds will relax tonight, we are not done with our weather headaches. Karen?
Thank you, Ben. Also, first at 4, one of the most powerful women in Metro Detroit shares the story of a letter that outed her as a lesbian CEO.
It said, "Congratulations on hiring a lesbian to run your hospital."
Paula Tutman's interview with the head of Henry Ford Health Systems. And a big makeover for Mound Road, what it will cost and when construction might get started. Those stories and more right now, first at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, we warned you about the Arctic assault, and it is definitely here. You can see sunshine outside, but really it's not helping that much. Warming centers opening all around Metro Detroit. Let's get right to Ben Bailey to see where things stand right now. Ben.
Karen, we're not to 20 degrees, and we won't get there today. In fact, those wind chills are still negative in parts of the area, but we have almost gotten through the worst of this deep freeze, and then we're going to start moving upwards as we head into the weekend. That doesn't mean smooth sailing, however. Even though the winds relax tonight, we're still going to see those wind chills probably in negative territory for much of the night as temperatures drop. Then as we get into Friday morning, in fact, most of the day tomorrow will be spent dry with cloudy skies. Friday night, we'll start looking at our next round of snow, and this one we will be shoveling, and it's going to last into early Saturday. There are some little tweaks that we have to discuss in the forecast, and more on that is coming up. Also, your 4-zone forecast to look at those snow totals in just a few minutes. Karen?
All right, Ben. Now, we do know Metro Detroiters know how to stay warm. We found plenty of people dusting off those reliable habits of dressing in layers. We saw fewer people outside today, which highlights that second rule, stay inside. And what else are people doing?
You got to keep moving.
That's the secret.
You got to keep moving, wear lots of layers, and stay out of the cold if you have to. That's the most important part.
Tonight at 5, we'll hear from some of the people who are stuck outside and how they are coping in these frigid temperatures. And the bitter cold can become very dangerous if you don't take those proper precautions before you go outside. You definitely don't want to mess around with frostbite. Dr. Frank McGeorge is live outside the emergency room at Henry Ford Hospital to talk about those warning signs we really need to be careful of.
Absolutely, Karen. You know, you've heard the numbers. Frostbite can happen in under 30 minutes on dry, exposed skin when the wind chills drop below -20. Now, we aren't going to get quite that cold, but that doesn't mean there isn't a risk. Skin damage in the cold occurs in stages. First, the outside layers are injured, causing simple redness and discomfort like burning or itching. But with more time, colder temperatures, more wind, or wet skin, the damage can go much deeper, affecting the skin through its entire thickness. And at this point, the skin's going to look pale, almost like it turned to wax. And then it goes from extremely painful to numb. Now, somewhere between red and itchy and pale and numb, that's when the serious damage is happening. So you have to pay attention and rewarm the area. The best way to rewarm an area is with warm, not hot water, because hot water is going to cause more damage. But because your fingers or toes can't feel things correctly, it's really important to have someone else check the temperature or use part of your body that isn't cold, like your elbow, for example, to check that it's warm and not hot. Now, as you warm your fingers and toes, it's completely normal for them to go from tingly to burning feeling before they feel normal. But if you warm an area and you don't get the feeling back, or if it becomes blistered, painful, or if the normal color doesn't come back, that's when you're going to need to see a doctor. And in terms of warming up your ears, by the way, use a warm washcloth. Now, obviously, we're not done with the cold. So coming up at 5, I'm going to explain what happens to your body in the cold and what you should be thinking about in the next couple days as both the temperature and the snow remain a big problem. Live at Henry Ford Hospital, I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Back to you.
Doc, one quick question, and I'll let you get back inside because I know you're freezing. Is there anything like you can do on your skin, put on an Aquaphor or any kind of barrier that really makes a difference if you're headed outdoors?
Yeah, you know, if you're headed outdoors, dehydration is an issue because there is no humidity. And of course, the cold air is blasting on your skin, drying it out. So yes, that will protect your skin a little bit, but it's not going to protect it from frostbite. It's just going to protect it from getting dried out and peeling. So don't think for a minute that it's a protection against frostbite. Gloves, earmuffs, that's the only way to protect yourself, really.
All right. Also hats, Dr. McGeorge. I'm giving you a hard time, aren't I? All right.
I'm just not a hat person. I like earmuffs.
Today you need to be. All right, get in and get warm. Thank you very much, Dr. McGeorge. Now, if you need a place to warm up, warming centers are being opened around Metro Detroit. We've posted a list of those centers on our website at clickondetroit.com, and you can get weather updates and the Local 4 Forecasters app wherever you are around the clock. Breaking news from South Carolina, where a jury has convicted Dylan Roof in the shootings of 9 people at a historic African-American church. In closing arguments, prosecutors said there was hatred in Roof's heart as he gunned down those people inside the church. The defense admitted Roof killed 9 people, but asked the jury to look at what caused the young man to have such hate in his heart. The jury convicted Roof after a few hours of deliberations and will meet next month to decide if he should get the death penalty or life in prison. Breaking news in Warren, a police officer hospitalized after being hurt in a 2-car crash near 13 Mile Road and Ryan. We're told the officer was responding to a minor accident involving a school bus in the area when he was hit in that intersection. Police say the patrol car's lights and sirens were on. The officer and the driver of the other car were taken to the hospital. Both are expected to be okay. In Macomb County, officials are discussing a $150 million construction project to rebuild Mound Road. A meeting was held today with Macomb County Executive Mark Hackel and the mayors of Warren and Sterling Heights. The plan would close 18 miles of the road from I-696 to Hall Road if the plan moves forward. Officials are hoping to secure the money next year, with construction beginning in 2020, ending in 2022. Nancy Schlechting is a powerful woman in healthcare, the outgoing CEO of the Henry Ford Health System. As she prepares to retire, she's sharing a very personal story, including the moment her mother learned her daughter is a lesbian, which happened in a very public way.
She was in a dialysis unit in the hospital I used to run in Akron, Ohio, and she screamed as loud as she could in front of all the staff who knew me that nothing would appall me more than if you're a lesbian.
Now that was a turning point, and Schlechting recently sat down with our Paula Tutman for a candid talk about her journey, struggling for acceptance, and the moment her life changed for the better.
When I was Chief Operating Officer of Riverside Methodist Hospital.
Nancy Schlechting, Chief Executive Officer of Henry Ford Health System, reads to a huge crowd from her new book, Unconventional Leadership. But she is not reading a bedtime story.
An anonymous letter was sent to the CEO of the health system and all of the trustees of the hospital. Essentially, it said, "Congratulations on hiring a lesbian to run your hospital."
She's reading one of the most painful chapters of her life, the day she was outed as being gay and forced to leave her career.
It was the worst time in my life in a number of ways. My mother was dying of cancer. I'd left a job I loved, and I was forced to abandon my career aspirations simply because I was gay. But I wouldn't change what happened in Columbus, because it is part of what made me who I am today.
She was a junior at Duke University when she figured it out. It was as simple as it was complicated. She fell in love with a woman.
I was a closeted lesbian. I did not ever tell anyone, including my family. I remember going to one of the Duke bookstores and looking for some literature, some book on being gay, and there was one book, but it was extremely secretive. You know, you certainly didn't do things out in the open.
Keep in mind, this is before the days of gay pride and talk of tolerance.
There's a lot of self-doubt. There's a lot of feelings about, acceptance and, understanding that you probably will never get married in your life. You'll probably never have children in your life.
But for sure, the seemingly impossible was achieved on a day she vividly remembers.
Congratulations.
The day the Supreme Court upheld the right for gays to marry, paved the way for her greatest personal achievement, to marry the woman she loves.
When that Supreme Court decision came through, I thought, oh my goodness, how amazing. I think probably the greatest feeling of support and acceptance I had was when my partner Pam and I got married.
Everything had become possible when you grew up gay and survived it in corporate America.
My sexuality is part of who I am, but it doesn't define me. There's so many things that I think, all the ingredients that build us as people. And it's our families, it's our education, it's our experiences in life, it's the things we overcome. You have no idea what you can do in your life, and I didn't.
She really did. And her resume is simply too long to list. But let's do some of the highlights. I mean, providing health care for homeless, gay, lesbian, transgender youth, also handpicked by President Obama to chair that commission of care for veterans. 15 of the 18 recommendations are now going to legislators to vote on. Her mother was afraid she would not reach her potential because she was gay. Oh my gosh.
She proved her wrong.
What do you think her mother would say now? She does retire at the end of this month. She's not going to put up her feet for a long needed rest. She's going to dive right back into it. But what an incredible story.
I like what she said, saying her sexuality is part of her, but it doesn't define her. There's so much, and we, as a society, so many times try to put this label on people.
You're absolutely right, but had it not been for her struggles because of her sexuality at that time, she probably would not think the way she thinks right now, and that changed healthcare for millions.
Great story, and that's going to help a lot of young people.
I hope so.
Yes, all right. Thank you, Paula.
You're welcome.
Well, more news ahead, including a new law that could help save lives in Michigan schools, plus the Yahoo data breach, 3 steps that can protect your personal information. Up first, a school bus caught on tape slipping and sliding into a bunch of cars. Another look at this video, and you'll hear the reaction from witnesses.
John Benet coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
Warming centers in Macomb County putting out the word. These centers need help. The simple thing you can do that could make a big difference in someone's life.
All right, Hank, first at 4, we're on top of stories making headlines across America this afternoon. A school district in rural Colorado will soon allow teachers and school staff to carry guns while on the job. The school board voted in favor of the measure yesterday. School employees will be able to carry weapons after undergoing training. The district is about 30 miles southeast of Colorado Springs. It can take police an average of 20 minutes to respond to an emergency call, causing concern for parents and board members fearing a possible mass shooting. Moving now to Portland, Oregon, cameras were rolling as this school bus loses control on a snowy hill. And watch this, crashes into several cars. Witnesses were shocked as they realized this would not end well.
Oh, look out! Look out!
Snowy streets made driving very treacherous yesterday all over Portland. 3 or 4 children were on the bus when it crashed. Fortunately, no one was seriously hurt. Which is pretty surprising because obviously there's no seatbelts in those buses. You definitely have to be careful, and we really need to prep for the next couple of days.
You know what? If it makes you feel any better,
yes,
we've gotten through the worst of the cold.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well then that does make me feel better because today was just horrible.
Not good. Even though the improvement's going to be slight tonight, it is still going to be below 0 with those wind chills, but just not quite as bad as what we woke up to this morning. So there is some silver lining. Of course, we still got that snow to talk about as we head towards the weekend. Current temperatures mid-teens out there, 17 the warmest spot that we've got, that's in Metro, ranging all the way to 11 right now in Flint. And even though the winds are going to relax tonight, they are still in negative territory and will likely stay there through the nighttime hours as we go into tomorrow morning. And we'll start seeing some warmer air as we look at our next winter storm, which is going to be coming late Friday night into Saturday. Right now, the only precipitation we've got out there is the lake effect stuff that's well out on the west side of the state and up on, closer to Traverse City right now in the center part of northern lower Michigan. We're going to stay away from that, but the clouds will start increasing late tonight and as we go into tomorrow, and we'll get our chance at getting the shovels out again as we head into the weekend. So here's how the timing looks. When we get into about 6 o'clock tomorrow night, we'll be dry up until that point. We'll start seeing some probably very light flakes here, maybe a quick snow shower. This is not going to be the main event. That's not going to roll in here until closer to 8, 9 o'clock. And you'll see that spreading from south to north as we get through the nighttime hours going into Saturday. Most of the moisture is going to be gone by sunrise is on Saturday morning. So we will already see a lot of our accumulation on the ground when we wake up. And notice where that rain snow line is, almost right around the city of Detroit. And it's going to continue marching north as we get into the afternoon. Not going to be a whole lot more moisture left, but anything that does fall south of that line is going to be in the form of rain. Now, there's still a chance we could see a little bit of some freezing rain, maybe some freezing drizzle in a narrow band here right on the leading edge of that. We're watching that very carefully. And then another burst of light snow as the system wraps up into Saturday evening. So let's look at our total snow snowfall accumulations, and keep in mind that if we see rain, it could tamp down these numbers a little bit. Metro zone numbers anywhere from about 5 inches here at the airport in Romulus to a little over 5 in the city. Maybe some pockets of 6 towards the northern section of our metro zone. South zone, you're going to see the lowest totals, especially down here towards the state line with the warmest temperatures. In fact, out here in Lenawee County, may not even get 3 inches out of this. 2.5 is what we're forecasting in Morenci, and those totals start rising closer to 4+ as you head up towards Michigan Avenue. West zone totals, again, this is Friday night and Saturday, accounting for that second burst of snow. Some of the highest totals are going to be in the northern section of our west zone, over 7 inches of snow. And as we get into our north zone, that's where we'll see those 7-inch totals as well, as you'll be seeing all snow. You won't be seeing any of that rain or mix to come along with it. 3 degrees tonight, keeping wind chills below 0. High temperatures at 20 tomorrow, and then beyond that snow, it gets cold again. 0 for a low on Monday, but we've got a lot of sunshine until maybe some more snowflakes on Thursday, Karen.
Still ahead, it is the biggest data breach ever reported, but even if you don't use Yahoo, there are 3 steps everyone should consider to protect your personal information. Up first, how the state of Michigan is going to create 100,000 potential lifesavers each year. We'll be right back. Michigan making a major change that will no doubt save lives. The Michigan House has voted to approve legislation that would actually require all Michigan students to learn hands-on CPR before graduating. Experts say the requirement will create 100,000 new potential lifesavers each year in our state. 35 states already have similar laws. The bill unanimously passed the Michigan Senate in May and now heads to Governor Snyder's desk for his signature. All right, let's talk about trending stories on our Thursday afternoon. First at 4, you've probably heard about that massive hack at Yahoo. The personal information of up to 1 billion people affected. The breach actually occurred back in 2013. But if some hacker has your personal info, here are 3 things that you should do. Number 1, make sure your financial accounts don't use the same password as your Yahoo account. And that rule pretty much applies to everyone, no matter which email you use. Beware of emails asking for your personal information. Hackers use information they already have to make scam emails look very real. And put a freeze on your credit report so you'll be alerted if anyone tries to open up a fake account in your name. Also today, can you feel the Force? The newest Star Wars movie, Rogue One, opens tonight with numerous showings all over Metro Detroit. Rogue One is the first spin-off from the main Star Wars storyline. Producers and fans very anxious to see how it does. The box office is already expected to hit $150 million. Right now, let's take a peek at some of the snacks on the other side of the studio. Coming up, how you can make the holidays a little healthier. See if these ideas tempt your taste buds. Coming up next. Finally, first at 4, cutting calories during the holidays. We know it's tough. A local dietitian says Americans typically gain 1 to 5 pounds from November to January.
That's it?
What do you mean that's it? That's kind of a lot.
Seems like you gain more, doesn't it?
I don't know. It seems like it takes forever to lose 2 pounds.
That's true.
The average American consumes between 5,500 and 7,000 calories just on Christmas Day. Dietitian Grace DeRocha and Blue Cross Blue Shield sent these healthier holiday snacks over to us to kind of talk about healthier alternatives.
Smells good.
It is really. Can you tell my mouth's watering because I was eating during the commercial break?
Yeah.
Take a look at this right here. This is wonderful. They are honey garlic cauliflower bites, and these are a great option instead of like doing chicken wings or anything like that. You have like a little bit of spice, but they're really delicious.
You try those. Also, you can try, instead of pasta, zoodles, which are actually spirals of zucchini that you saute and serve with a ricotta snowball. That looks fantastic.
Well, and also, yeah, if you're watching your carbs, you just do everything with the zucchini. And I can do that. Like, that's not a lot of cooking, right? Look at me. I can do that.
You sound surprised.
I'm always surprised.
I can do that.
And these are great. I did try these. These are the no-bake cookies, and they're made of like pistachios, dried cherries, white chocolate chips, and you obviously have healthy smoothies. And we put all of the recipes on clickondetroit.com if you want to check it out. Thanks so much for spending part of